Good morning, everyone. How are you today? It's me, Shane Lee. Today, I want to go back to educating you about music itself. Because really anyone can do that. Now, again, the first thing you have to learn about music is the definition of musical terms. So, I'll use the copyright version of the New National Baptist Hymnal 21st Century Edition, published in 1977, and read you the definitions out of that book of musical terms. Now, this is the glossary of musical terms. A cappella, vocal music sung unaccompanied, and when they mean unaccompanied, they mean by an instrument. Accelerando, becoming faster. Accent, to emphasize, to stress. Accidentals, sharps, flats, or naturals. Accompaniment, instrument support for voice, group, or solo instrument. Acoustic, the science of sound. Ab libitum, ad lib, at the pleasure of the performer. Allegretto, moderately quick and lively. Allegro, quick, lively, and cheerful. Alto, the second highest voice in four-part texture. Anacrusis, a weak or unaccented note that anticipates the downbeat, also called upbeat. Andante, slow, graceful walking. Anthem, a choral composition with words from the Bible or other religious text. Arpeggio, a chord in which notes are played individually in quick succession. Arrangement, the adaptation of a composition for a medium different from that for which it was originally written. Articulation, the manner in which notes are begun and ended. Baritone, low adult male voice with a range that lies between tenor and bass voices. Bar line, a vertical line drawn through the staff to separate measures. Bass, the number of beat, a bass, the lowest male voice, the lowest part of a choral composition. Beat, the number of counts in the measure. Bridge, a passage in a composition which connects two or more different themes. Bridge, a passage in a composition which connects two or more different themes. Cadence, the musical punctuation that separates phrases. Call and response, a composition in which one person sings a phrase and a group responds. Canon, a strict imitation in which one voice imitates another. Cantable, an expressive term meaning to sing or sing. Cantata, a religious composition consisting of a number of movements with solo, duet, recitative, and chorus with orchestral and instrumental accompaniment. Changed voice. A change in voice quality experienced by girls and boys between the ages of about 12 and 16. Boys' voices become lower and girls' voices become fuller in sound. Chant. A short musical passage in two or more phrases, often without a melodic line. Chest tone. The lower register of a voice. Choir. An organized group of singers. Chord. The resulting sound when three or more tones are sounded at the same time. Chorus, the musical section of a song that follows a verse, sometimes called a refrain. Clef, a symbol at the beginning of a staff that determines the pitch of that staff. Coda, additional music performed as an ending to a composition. Con expressivo, with expression. Con molto, with spirited movement. Contemporary gospel, an era in gospel music from the 1960s to present. Crescendo, gradually increasing in loudness. Decrescendo, gradually decreasing in loudness, also called diminuendo. DC Alfine, abbreviated for da capo Alfine, meaning to return to the beginning and sing until the fine. Descant, a counter melody played or sung above the basic melody. Diaphragmatic breathing, the act of complete breathing through the upper body, which utilizes the diaphragm. That's when you basically take in a deep breath into your diaphragm. That's the first thing Mr. Moll taught us, to hold a note. Dolce, sweet and soft. Dominant, the fifth degree above the diatonic scale. Double bar, a bar line consisting of two thin vertical lines that denotes a section of a composition, such as a coda or key change. Doxology, a congregational response often sung at the time of the offering, invocation, or benediction. Downbeat, the first beat of a measure. Duet, a musical composition for two voices or instruments. Dynamics, indications specifying the relative loudness or softness of a note or musical passage. Expression, the general character of a musical passage or composition. Fermata, an indication to prolonged or extending a tone or chord. Field song, composition authored by slaves that were sung in the fields, usually of spiritual influence. Fine bar, a bar line consisting of one thin and one thick vertical lines that denotes the end of a composition. Forte, loud. Fortissimo, very loud. Fortissimo, extremely loud. Flat, symbol indicating that a note is to be lowered a half step, though only 5 notes can be lowered, right? The rest are considered a full note or a whole note, right? Depending on how you look at it, right? Forte piano. Loud, then immediately soft. Genera. A general categorization of music that is similar in structure. Genre. Gaioso. Joyful merrily. Gospel. A song of faith, hope, or life experiences. Gospel band. An instrumental group usually comprised of piano, electric bass, lead guitar, and drum set. Grand staff. A musical staff consisting of both treble and bass clef, the standard method of notation for hymns. Harmonize. To produce chordal accompaniment to a melody. Harmony. The sounding of 2 or more tones at the same time. Head tone. The highest register of the voice. Homophony. A musical texture in which the voices move simultaneously. Hymn. A song or of praise or adoration intended to be used in religious service. Hymn of invitation. A composition inviting membership or participation in a worshiping group. Hymn of praise. An opening hymn with words of praise, adoration, or thanksgiving. Improvisation. The spontaneous creation of music. Interlude. Music inserted between other compositions of worship activities. Interpretation. The personal and creative element in the performance of music. Interval. The distance in pitch between 2 tones. Instrumentation. The instruments used to perform or accompany a composition. Intonation. Singing or playing in tune. Introit. An antiphonal chant or moderately ornate style. Key signature. A group of sharps or flats placed at the beginning of the staff to indicate the musical key of the passage of composition. Largo. Broad and dignified tempo. Legato. Connected tones smoothly joined together. Lento. Slowly. Lyrics. The words of the song. Maestoso. An expressive term meaning majestic. Manual. The designation for any keyboard provided for the hands. Marcato. An expressive term meaning marked. Measure. A regular division of music by beats indicated by vertical bar lines on the staff, sometimes referred to as a bar. Modisma. An expressive vocal passage of various pitches sung to one syllable. Melody. The predominant musical tone often sung by the highest voice. Mezzo forte. Moderately loud. Mezzo piano. Moderately soft. Mezzo soprano. A woman's voice that lies between soprano and alto in range. Minister of music. The person responsible for musical activities in a local church. Mixed voices. A combination of men's and women's voices. Moderato. moderate tempo, modulation, the process of changing keys, molto, allegro, very quick, very fast, monophony, a musical texture consisting of a single voice, musical style, the result of the interaction of rhythm, melody, harmony, texture, color, and shape of a musical composition. Natural, a symbol which cancels a sharp or flat. Notation, a written method of indicating musical sounds. Notes, symbols which represent specific musical tones. Different types of notes indicate how long to sing or play a tone. Octave, the interval between the first and 8 tones of a musical scale, a doubling or acoustic frequency. Offertory hymn, a composition performed during the gathering of the offering. Oratorio, a semi-dramatic composition for voices and orchestra. Orchestration, the assignment of various melodic and harmonic musical lines to various instruments. Organ, a keyboard instrument that produces pitch by forcing air through pipes of various lengths, most often used in church and religious settings. Ornamentation, additional notes added to a melody for variation. Ostinato, a pattern of tones or rhythm which is repeated. Percussionist, a performer of percussion instruments such as drums or timpani. Phrase, a group of a succession of musical notes which produce a specific musical idea of or statement, the musical equivalent to a sentence. Piano, a keyboard instrument that produces pitches by the use of a felt hammers striking metal strings. Piano, soft. Pianissimo, very soft. Pianissimo, extremely soft. Pitch, the relative highness or lowness of a musical note. Poco a poco, little by little, gradually. Polyphony, a musical texture in which the individual voices move independently of each other. Postlude, music played at the end of a worship service. Praise, to sing or extol honor and adoration. Prelude, music played at the beginning of a worship service. Presto, nimble, quick tempo. Processional, vocal or instrument music used to begin a religious service, often used to accompany the entrance of the choir into the sanctuary. Psalms, sacred songs utilizing text from the book of Psalms. Quartet, a music composition for 4 voices or instruments. Quintet, a musical composition for 5 voices or instruments. Range, the extent of the pitches within which a voice or instrument can sound. Recessional, vocal or instrumental music used to close a religious service, often used to accompany the exit of the choir from the sanctuary. Recitative, a musical style consisting of melodic lines sung freely to a simple accompaniment, often used in operas and oratorios. refrain, the musical section of the song that follows the verse, sometimes called a chorus. Repeat sign shows what part of the music is to be sung or played twice. Repertoire, a collection of music that a performer is prepared to perform. Response, a musical reply to a prayer sung by a choir or a congregation. Rest, a symbol indicating silence. Rhythm, the grouping of notes which are sounded in a specific pattern. Retardando, gradually becoming slower. Sacred, music of a religious, reverent, and consecrated nature. Scale, a series of 8 tones resembling a musical ladder. Sharp, a symbol indicating that a note is to be raised a half step. Slave song, chant or work song of the field hand slave. Slur, singing or playing 2 or more different notes without articulation between them, noted by the use of a curved line connecting the notes. Soprano, the highest female voice. Sostenuto, sustaining the tone to or beyond this normal value. Spiritual, slave utterance, chant, moan, cries for deliverance. Spirituosa, with spirit. Staccato, detached, cut short. Stanza, poetic unit, 2 lines or longer in length, sung to the same music, also called a verse. Staff, a 5-line system on which musical pitches and rhythm are noted. Subito, suddenly. Syncopation, an alteration of the normal pulse of music in which notes are performed on weak beats. Tempo, the place at which a musical composition is performed. Tenor, the highest male voice. Texture, the musical weave of a composition. Theme, a melodic unit on which a composition is based. Tie, the connecting of 2 or more notes of the same pitch, notated with a curved line between the notes. Timbre, the individual tone quality of a specific voice or instrument. Time signature, a notational indication similar to a fraction which appears at the beginning of a composition and specifies the meter. The bottom number defines which kind of note receives each beat or pulse, and the top number defines how many notes that particular value appear in each measure. Tone, a single musical sound. Tonic, the first degree of diatonic scale. Traditional gospel, an era in gospel music from the 1920s to the 1950s. Transcription, an arrangement of reduction of an orchestral or vocal work. Treble, the highest part of a chord composition. Triad, 3 tones forming 2 intervals of thirds sounding simultaneously. Trill, a rapid alteration of 2 tones often used as an ornament. Triad, a composition for three voices or instruments. Unchanged voice, the high voice of younger children. Upbeat, a weak or unaccented note that anticipates the downbeat, also called crurus. Urban gospel, an era in gospel music from the 1990s to present. Variation, a modification or alteration version of a musical passage. Vivace, brisk, lively tempo. Vocalization, vocalize, a long melody sung on a vowel to exercise the voice. Volume, the quantity or power of sound. Walking bass, a bass line that moves steadily in a constant rhythm. And there's one they didn't include, which is unison. I'll use Webster's dictionary for that. Unison. N-M-E, unison. F-R-M-F, unison. F-R-M-L, unisonus, having the same sound. FR, one, unus, one, and sonus, sound. Sameness or identity in musical pitch. The condition of being tuned or sounding at the same pitch or in octaves singing in. Harmonious agreement or unison, accord. Now that too is a part of music. Now, when I sing with a singer on the radio, that's unison if I match his pitch or her pitch, or her sound. Yes, if I impersonate, say, Wilson Phillips, or a male or female voice or something like that, and if I match the same pitch and tone of the performer, I'm singing in unison with them. It becomes from one performer to two performers. I'm also impersonating them, their voice alone. So the final definition is impersonation. Impersonate. To assume or act the character of. Impersonation. Impersonator. Now, there's two ways to sing a note. One is to strictly sing the note itself. The other is to include your speaking voice and make your voice part of the note.
Right.
Now, in choir, if you sing an A, you have to sing the A. But when you do what's called talk singing, you sing in your own distinct voice. Soon I will be gone. That's singing the note. Soon I will be done. That's talk singing, using my speaking voice. Hello, how are you today? My name is Shane. That's talk singing. Those are the two styles of singing you can do. Now, when you match another person's voice, singing or speaking is called talk singing or speaking.
Right.
It's a part of music as well as a part of comedy. And that's what I'm teaching you to do. Alright, have a nice day.